thank you. So thank you everyone for coming. This is great. I know we're here to support Katy and hear about her book. She's our guest speaker for the Scriber Historical and Archive Society, and this is our annual meeting. And Katy's going to talk a bit about her book later and do a short reading as well. And of course, she has books available for you if you're interested. I know I certainly am. It sounds like a very interesting book. So we have packages here for those of you that want to follow along. Oh, okay. Okay. So could we have approval of the agenda? Oh, I need
a pen.
I need a pen and I need to record.
I'll approve.
Okay.
I gave her one. I gave her one.
All right.
She's got one. I may not have one now, but she's got one.
All right. And the minutes for last week, meeting, if you'd like to have a look them over there. Yeah. You're stronger there.
Okay, yeah.
I want it first too.
So everybody here will be
Yeah.
recorded for this meeting.
No, I like that. That's awesome. Okay, I can approve that.
Okay. And could I have a seconder for the minutes?
I'll second.
Sorry, who seconded?
Georgette,
Georgette? Okay.
and I'll second.
Okay. Brenda? All righty. Okay.
Did you move the agenda?
Yes, I did. Do we have anything that coming out of the minutes at all? Anything that you
No.
had to address? All right. Okay, reports. Our
Business.
business arising, yeah, there's no business. And so we have our annual report. Some of the activities that we did, if you wanted to read it over there.
Yes.
It's okay, George.
So the exciting thing last year was that after many years of trying to figure out how to digitize our local newspapers, the Scriber Terrace Bay News, we the library ended up partnering with the Terrace Bay Public Library, and the library owns the copyright of the newspapers, and we partnered together and had to have the local newspapers digitized. So that was a big project. That project was $10,000 between the two libraries. And the Terrace Bay Library has a lot of the newspapers and even earlier ones as well. So we're pretty excited because the usage is just crazy. People are going online to find information, and so this was a number of years working on this project. Quite a few years ago, the two libraries partnered. We received a large grant and we digitized a portion of our local history collection, and that's available on our digital world. You can go in and bring up, whatever you might be interested in. If you want to find pictures, or we have a lot of our local history, written history as well available through that. And that was a program that we partnered with the Terrace Bay Public Library, the Rail Museum, and the Nipigon Public Library. So that one also was being very popular over the years as well. So if you're interested, you can check it out. So anyways, that was exciting to finally see that come to fruit.
Excuse me, is that under our library information?
Our digital world.
Just our digital.
Yeah, you can go to the front page of the library and you can click right onto it, and you can access it and it'll all come up. And that's great. And also we've been working with the Scriber Media Center, so trying to do as many stories of the community as possible. So of course, we'll be able to post Katy's story as well. And so we're pretty excited about that because it's a way to document our community, and especially during COVID, all the issues around that as part of our social history. I think that we've been very lucky to have had that project. We're into our 4th year now, and we're hoping to continue providing coverage and doing local history stories as well. And the other thing that the Historical Society is actually 30 years old, or almost 30 years old. We've been around. Georgette was one of the initial founders. And so the things that we've done over the years, we've done brochures, green maps, archive brochures. We did the You're on the Right Track booklet, which is a timeline of the scriber. We own the copyright to the painting by Rhodey Kenny Cortis, and we've done coloring booklets celebrating our past, and also we worked on the mural that you see outside, Journey into Our Past. So those are some of the things that we've done over the years. We're small, but
Nice to
Small
know.
small but mighty. Small but mighty, so it's pretty exciting. And also there's photos that are in the Realm Museum now as well, and we have people continually contacting the library for photos that are part of the Historical Society collection, used for like the Japanese internment camp, let's see, just the new tourist information center. So that is a valuable resource that's available as well. And that will continue to grow as well. All right, so the treasurer's report, we just want to have a peek here. This was audited by David Falzetta. And so our general account, we have $6,495.14. And in our lottery account, there's $3,079.45. So money that we were able to fundraise through our Kodak machine, which unfortunately is a bit obsolete. So that was how we were able to bring in quite a bit of funds there. And also we do a lot of fundraising, like 50-50 draws and those kinds of things to help increase our revenue. Like we sell postcards and we sell the booklets and those kinds of things. So at some point it would be really good to update the booklet because that's very popular. It's 2010, so it's getting a little dated. We were hoping to maybe do that for the opening of the Realm Museum, but it's pretty hectic over the last few years. So do you have any questions at all about the financial? Okay. Okay. And the other part of the Historical Society is that we also have a committee called the Patch of Friends, with our heritage quilters. So that's kind of an umbrella as well of our Historical Society. So we work together and work on particular projects as well. For our 25th, we had done a beautiful quilt. People in the community put together squares, and the Patch of Friends, the quilters, they helped complete it and stitch it together, and that's hanging in the municipal center. All right, so election of officers. We have, I'm the chairperson. Roseanne, who's not here today, is secretary treasurer. Brenda Osmondson is our library rep, and Georgette Cesario is a board member. So we've all agreed to remain on the board. So if we could have a motion to accept. Okay.
I will second.
You can't.
I can't?
No.
Oh, yeah, because I'm on the, I'll second anyway. No.
Okay, we're only going, okay.
Yeah.
Conflict of legalities and things.
I know.
I'll make the motion, I'll second.
Alrighty, okay, and we need a motion to accept all the statements. So Brenda, you can do that one.
I will do that one as the library representative.
Yeah. And who would like to second it? Georgia?
Georgia.
Okay, all right. Okay, right, so moving along. I have here Scriber Media Center. I think I talked a little bit about that with our partnership and how we're working together and how we're also, one of the productions that I get excited about is something like Railtown Relics, where we could maybe feature some of the artifacts we have in our library archives or the museum. And so we've kind of, are playing around with those kinds of concepts, ways to kind of bring our collection into the light so people can learn more about it and enjoy what we have. Yes, you're on our agenda. If you wanted to just speak a little bit about the Media Center.
So I think we've been very, very lucky that a percentage of our viewers to our population is extremely high. And I think going forward, what I'd like to do is that if we can still continue to do what we're supposed to do and then branch out a bit more into community programming, I think we will have done a really, really good job for this year. And that would be my goal, is to try and get more community involvement. And that's why being here today with the Historical Society, we want to work with all the different committees and organizations in town. We currently have a good relationship with the Senior Center. In fact, half our programming is probably with Kathy, partially because she's really good at her programming is fantastic and there's a lot going on. We've done stuff in the past with the Medical Center. We just finished something for the Aquasauben Chamber of Commerce, so people who weren't even aware that they were now reopened will know that information. Of course, we've done a lot of stuff with the library. The town has approached us a couple times now for Heritage Days and Winter Carnival. So we're actually, they're seeing the value in those productions, because when you get that stuff out there and it's on YouTube and people see it, you're actually not only curating our stories, our history, you're keeping a record of our history, but you're putting our community out there for the world to see, with hopefully the idea that you will draw people in to start coming and see us. So as an economic development tool, it also works really, really well. So that's kind of my ramble about what the Media Center's been up to.
Okay, thanks.
Any questions or any concerns?
All right.
Did you get the splash pad?
I've been shooting the splash pad since last year from the construction, and now that they're open,
Really busy this
yeah,
week.
I was standing outside right now to buy a birthday card,
Yeah.
and I just ran out for a second to come back. That's why I got held up. And as I'm there, everybody's coming out of their car with their kids and their things and their bathing suits and their little foldable chairs. And I'm going, oh God, I got to get back in, because I would have loved just to go and spend a half an hour with the kids, and I probably will go back another time.
Something else somewhere.
Okay, thanks, Kim.
Thanks.
All right, good. Katie?
I'm Katy Speziale. I'm an artist. I've been painting acrylics on canvas for over 15 years, and I'm also the author of the book, The Empowered Creator, Embody the Divine Artist Within You, which I'm really, really proud of. I published it on Amazon recently, so that's very, very exciting. And I'm going to do a little reading from it, because it kind of tells, at the start of the book, my story of my inspiration and how the book came to be where it is today. So I'll start with that. And I want to say thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you all. So thank you. So why I wrote this incredible book for you. Why did I write this book? Well, it all started with an online personal development training that I was invited to back in July 2021, called Ignite Your Calling by Kathleen Cameron. As I was doing the questions in the workbook for this 5-day training, all the questions kept leading me back to my art. I kept trying to resist and push those thoughts aside and stick to answers that made sense to the job I was doing at the time. No matter how hard I tried to resist, my art kept being pulled back to me, back into my mind, but I ignored that for a while. I started taking more online personal development courses. I started reading all the books, all that kind of stuff. It's funny, because before that, the only thing I read was cookbooks. I finally found a topic I thoroughly enjoyed reading about. I love to learn, grow, and expand my consciousness. Eventually, I began to realize that the job I was doing at the time wasn't what I was meant to be doing. My purpose is so much bigger than that. My passion is my art. I have been painting with acrylics on canvas for over 14 years. That's what it was at the time, but now it's 15. And love every moment of it. Paintings bring me so much peace and happiness, and I absolutely love bringing a piece of happiness to homes. I'm an artist, and I'm meant to bring so much color and inspiration to the world. When it came to things like coming up with my own ideas as an artist, I realized that I was an unconscious confident. I was coming up with a lot of ideas, but didn't know exactly how I was doing it. Throughout more courses, I became aware of the how, which I will talk about soon enough. I joined another online personal development course, which allowed me to begin thinking bigger. While thinking of what I would love to do with my life, I realized that I've always wanted to write a book. And it suddenly hit me what I'd like to write the book about. I knew I wanted to help people overcome certain aspects of their life, build confidence, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of what I went through for my personal development journey, and I wanted to share all those different things that I learned myself, and I think other people should learn if they don't know it already. It's funny because my idea for my book title was a lot different from the title now. A lot changed through my personal growth and development journey. I took the Legacy Brand Foundations program with branding expert Tiffany Newman. And this is where my 4 Eyes framework came to life. You'll hear me talk more about that framework right now. So Katy's 4 Eyes framework. Within these chapters, you will become more aware of the power within you. Push past perfectionism, push past social standards, see mistakes as beautiful opportunities, and so much more. You will develop confidence, bravery, faith, and unravel the divine artist within you. You already know you're an artist, so it's time to fully embody the divine artist within you. Step into and be the ultimately incredible artist you're destined to be. You are the creator of your life and your canvas, and it's time to step into that power. I have created my 4 Eyes framework, which will help you spark your divine self and release the empowered creator within you. This is the exact formula I use to create my art. And it gives me endless original ideas, a positive mindset, confidence, bravery, and ultimately empowerment. So my 4 Eyes framework is imagination, inspiration, intuition, and ignite. I became aware of everything that I pushed through as an artist and as a person. I'm so honored and grateful and excited to share my framework with you so that you can push past your barriers as well to bring out the divine artist within you. I was personally a huge perfectionist in high school, and I know how exhausting and limiting it can feel when you're trying so hard to make everything perfect in your eyes. Being on the other side now, there's less pressure, and my art is imperfectly perfect. It's wonderful to feel this way. A change in mindset is all it is. I also know how frustrating it can feel to not know how to come up with your own ideas. And I also know how magical it can be to come up with my own ideas now with ease and flow. In high school, when my art teacher would tell us to come up with our own ideas for an assignment, I wouldn't know what to do at all. I had no idea where to even begin to produce my own ideas or how people even do that. I'm so grateful that I know now how to come up with these ideas, and I'm very grateful that I get to share with you. I definitely understand how defeating and upsetting it can feel to make a mistake in your art. And I know how wonderful it is to overcome this as well and see any mistake or smudge as a beautiful opportunity. In art class, when my paintbrush used to accidentally hit the wrong spot on the canvas, it felt so defeating. I've had this happen several times over the years as an artist, and I truly see it as a blessing in disguise now. I'd love for you to feel the same. This book will help you push past all these moments of doubt and fear so that you could soar into the empowered creator that's already within you. Have you ever heard that success is only 5% strategy and 95% mindset? Well, it's time to build bravery, boldness, and confidence within you. Warning, you may have some realizations from this book, some aha moments. Some may be hard to swallow, but they're good. It's good to be aware of yourself so that you can decide to change and grow. Because truthfully, if you don't know something's going on, you can't change. This book might be an entirely new perspective for you to hear. In that case, I hope it opens your eyes to a new way of being. It may challenge some of your underlying beliefs and past thinking. I know that everything I've learned through my personal development journey completely challenged my way of thinking. And it feels so good to be free now. I choose what I want my beliefs to be. While reading, I invite you to take an honest look at yourself. When I say an honest look, I don't mean with judgment or disappointment. I mean staying neutral, but taking a truthful look to see the areas in your life where you can expand and grow. See it as an opportunity for growth within yourself. As you read, I challenge you to keep an open mind about learning new concepts. Here's to becoming more aware and changing from within. Empowerment, here you come. Meet you on the other side. In the next chapter, you will find out why imagination is incredibly important when it comes to creating your life and your artwork. Happy reading. So yeah, that kind of tells really the journey, the whole journey I took throughout the whole book writing process. But another thing I want to mention too was my first thought of even writing a book was from our own Douglas Hunt. And he had wrote like kind of a biography of himself, and he brought it to a few fairs and he was selling a couple copies. And all I could think of is, that is so cool. Like, I want to write a biography of myself as an artist one day. So that was kind of that seed planted in my head. And then as time went on, and then as you know, through my personal development journey, the story kind of changed of what I actually wanted to write it about. And then I actually want to help people through it. Not just about my story, but like, well, it is my story, but to help people more so. So that's really beautiful. And if I want you to take anything out of today, I would want you to know that imagination is the foundation for everything. That's what I truly believe. Because if you think about it, everything around us right now, all the books, puzzles, table, chairs, everything started within someone's imagination. So, and then it was brought into the 3D world, our physical reality. So it kind of goes to show you that, again, everything starts within your imagination. So it is so important to be utilizing our imaginations to the absolute fullest potential we can, to not just create artwork, but to create all the amazing things around us too. So yeah, does anyone have any questions or?
I just had a comment.
Yeah.
I think that's very encouraging, Katie, when you said about the perfection, because that's our world today. So many people, adults, young children, in your late 20s,
Yeah.
and you just realize the last few years that it's okay. And
Yeah.
kids don't know that, and some adults don't know that, and it's encouraging to hear the fact that it's never too late.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for that, Mary. And that reminds me too, that's kind of a piece of that came from an experience I had. I was invited to do an art course, just like a 2-day class at a school in Terrace Bay. And I got to paint with the kids for the 2 days. And one of the children was kind of you could see that he was really self-conscious about his art, and it accidentally didn't go the way he wanted it to, and you could see that he was striving for perfection. So I kind of had to, my message at those whole 2 days kind of became it doesn't need to be perfect, it's okay, and everyone's art is going to be different in their own ways, and that's okay, because it's a reflection of who you are, and there's truly no mistakes in art. I do see it as an opportunity. If I accidentally make a smudge, if I'm able to fix it, I will. If not, I'll make it look like it was intentional. Put a smudge on the other side, or cover it with something. It's maybe something else is meant to go there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it actually makes my art a lot better than it would have been if I stuck to the original idea. So.
And there's 2 of you in the family published.
Yeah. Shout out to Graham with her book.
Hey, Georgia?
Yeah.
So Graham, if you want to tell us about your book, that would be great.
Well, my book is a more personal book. It's on the Ukrainian history, and my idea of it was, after me, the grandkids won't know where we came from. So I wrote it originally on my Baba. And the reason it's not sitting in the library is because it's actually ended up being a very personal book. I don't know if some of the sections actually belong out in the public, but it was really fun to do. And at the time I wrote it, Katy was my only granddaughter, so I had dedicated it to her to keep the family line going. So, yeah.
A few tears shed.
Yeah. I'm sure.
How would you describe the connection between healing and creativity?
I think creativity and healing, they play such an important role together, because back in the day when I used to do my art, I used to use it my creative outlet of painting as a form of healing. So for example, I went through a heartbreak. So I painted a pink, just pink on a canvas, and then I drew with pencil, which I don't usually draw in my paintings. I always do freehand, so that was the only one, but I drew a broken heart on it, and I actually put that aside for a year because I was just too brokenhearted to even look at it. And so I pulled it out eventually when I was ready to actually heal. And I was looking at it and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? So I realized I had all these paint chunks put aside off my palette. I'd saved a bunch of beautiful paint chunks. So I decided to piece my heart back together with them.
Oh, cool.
And I call the painting Love Every Moment, because truly, even in, the parts that seem bad in life, they teach you so much. So to love those moments, even when it doesn't seem like they're the greatest, they still have an important role of bringing you to where you are today. So yeah, I truly do believe it's a huge form of healing, and I've used it in different ways too. I was really upset with my landlord one time, so I started doing a painting as well. I took out my paints to heal myself, to heal my anger. And I took out black paint because I was so angry.
Black or red. Yeah.
And I started just swooping it around in this big circle of black, and I'm and then I looked at my canvas and I'm whoa, you need to calm down, or or it's just gonna be fully black. So that made me really realize okay, it's not that big of a deal, just let it go.
Did you give it to your landlord? You should have.
Maybe I should have, yeah. But I ended up doing it looked like a beehive, how it ended up being, the black swoops and everything. So I drew little bees kind of swarming up towards it, and then rainbows across it as a form of the light behind,
Yeah.
the dark, or over the darkness, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, all the healing journeys, I think any creative outlet is a great way to express yourself and heal. truly heal yourself as well.
Yeah, that book not only has the art, but it has life.
Yeah.
Like, I see a difference in you already.
Yeah.
Working with you.
Well, that's the thing, Mary. Like during my process of writing the book, like, you know, the writing it, the editing, the formatting, the promoting, like the marketing, all that stuff, throughout my whole journey of doing the Empowered Creator, I became the Empowered Creator. And I see that in myself now. And like before, I would never think to speak in front of people like this. In high school, my face would go red. I would be like shaking. But it's interesting because like, and that's why I wrote a book in the first place, was because I had all these beautiful ideas, but I didn't necessarily see myself as a speaker at that time. So I thought the book was the best way to get my ideas out there in a way that I didn't have to necessarily present them. And now promoting the book, I'm out here presenting my book, but it does show you the confidence that's built throughout the whole journey. And that's what I really did throughout my 4 Eyes framework. Is it starts with the foundation, which is imagination, and then it really brings you to inspiration, like finding inspiration in all these different ways. And then you go into intuition, which to me, intuition means like allowing God to work through you and really being guided. And it's kind of like that gut feeling, like when you feel something's right, you know, that's a path you should take probably. And when it doesn't feel right, it's probably not the right path for you. And then it brings you into ignite, which is really the last part of it, which is igniting the confidence, bravery, boldness, everything that's already within you and really bringing it out.
It's cool.
And one of my favorite quotes throughout the book is, "You know more than you know you know." And that's a quote by Bryce Pritchett out of his book U Squared. But it's true, when I was writing the first chapter, well, the second chapter, which is imagination, I was sitting there, excuse me, and I was like, do I really know this much about the imagination to write an entire chapter on it? And then I'm like, you know more than you know you know. And I'm like, I do. And then everything just started flowing, and it all just flowed right out of me with ease. So we do framework at the end. We basically developed the whole Katy Speziale brand, which I've been developing for the past 1.5 years. So I created a beautiful website for it. The whole book came out of it. But really, through the framework, we were kind of trying to decide what fit in with my artwork and like just general ideas that I wanted to pursue in the future. And I don't know, it just kind of came to us. Like, we stuck with doing the eyes, so it was really cohesive, having the different eyes. And those were the words that really reflected who I am and what I'm trying to bring to the world. So it's really a build up to bring you into like the most creative state you could be in. And that's who the book's really for. It's for people who are looking to discover their creative side. Because we all have these different creative outlets and might not even realize it. Like, there's, you know, not just painting, but drawing, pottery, gardening, baking, dancing. Like, there's all these different things that we could do to express ourselves. So yeah, it's for people who really want to discover their creative side, be more creative, and yeah, bring out that confidence and everything that's already within them, and push past all those barriers that they might not even know is there. Because I didn't know a lot of the ones that were there for me until I was told or read about them, watched a video or whatever, and it was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing that. But then I was able to change those things within myself. I've spoke on a couple podcasts now, and the one podcast that's coming out this week actually, but like the first one I was on, it was more structured and, you know, like asking the questions and stuff. But then the second one, we had more of a conversation, so it was more in flow like that and made it feel like a conversation and more real. So then people listening to it could really relate to it, which is really nice.
So are you going to be doing more podcasts?
Yeah, I actually have one booked for July, so that's really exciting too. And then I'm sure more in the future as well. And I do plan to write more books as well.
Oh, good.
I have a few in mind. I kind of want to tie on the empowered aspect of everything. So I was thinking, I wasn't sure if I was going to do like a sequel to this. So like the Empowered Creator 2.0 or something like that. Or do just like the empowered being so it relates to everyone. So I'm not sure yet, but I have like a million ideas. It's
Once you get it written, you'll know what to call it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too.
Are you going to continue painting?
Oh yes, of course.
Thank you. Thank you. Because I like your painting.
Yeah, I'm actually, this is the first anyone will hear of this actually. I'm working on a collaboration. I just started this with a guy named Wei that I met online. And he wrote 365 days of poems. So I'm going to do a painting
A day?
for 365 days to match those poems.
Oh, nice. Wow.
That'd make a great calendar.
Yeah, well that too, I didn't think about that yet, but yeah, great idea, Donna. Thank you.
See, you're pulling out your.
I know the creativity.
creativity.
But yeah, we were thinking of making a beautiful like coffee book out of it.
Oh, yeah, that would be really
And-
nice.
Yeah, and then doing even like prints with the poems on top of the paintings. So that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited for that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And our messages kind of align. So like when I'm reading the poems and he's explaining it, like the ideas are just shooting into my head of what I can paint. So I finished 2 so far, but I didn't bring my paints describer with me. So.
What a wonderful collaboration.
Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah, I think it will be very impactful. So,
Yeah. You have to keep us posted
yes.
on things, okay, in case we've missed the boat somewhere. Just,
Yeah.
you know,
I've been
say,
even
hey,
in,
library.
Well, we'll have to do another launch, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's right. That's right.
I haven't even announced that on social
And maybe
media yet.
they'll launch for both of you at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be really good though.
World premiere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Podcast. Where do we look for it? Where do we go looking for you?
Where you were looking for you?
Okay, so my book can be found on empoweredcreatorbook.com.
And where's your podcast?
So the podcast, I'll probably make a section on my website so that people, it's an easy way for people to find them. But if you type my name onto YouTube,
Well, the
Okay.
ones that you've
Should
been
pop
on
up.
already, like the ones with the other people, will they show up on there?
on YouTube, one of them will for sure. And
What was the
the
ladies'
next one should.
names? What were their names?
So the first lady was Sabrina Victoria.
Okay.
Yeah, and the second lady's Nicole Connor, and her brand is called the Grand Rising Experience. So she has a podcast that's called Grand Rising Experience. Grand Rising Experience. Yeah. Yeah, she's actually my biz bestie now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also found on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest now. And my main website for my art is www.katyspeziale.com. So that's KatySpeziale.
She has cards
.com.
at the front.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
Cards at the front.
yeah, it has all the info. I wanted to do one more thing too. I wanted to present the Scriber Public Library with a copy of my book.
Oh.
So
Very
I appreciate it.
thank you.
Should I present it to
Yeah, board chair, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, we really, really appreciate you coming down. We were so excited to hear that you had published. And just to be here and appreciate how you've grown. I think it's just marvelous. And I think we're all looking really forward to reading her book. And I'm really, really proud of you. Let's just say it that way. Okay, and all the best in the future.